So I usually skip breakfast because I don't usually feel hungry in the morning, and instead I take this thing called Magic Mind at the start of my day.
Don't kill me. Is this a sponsored post? My God. This can't, oh God. This can't be legal for real, socialist. Can I call you that? Clara Dao yassifying this disorder to millions of impressionable young female fans for brand deals and sponsorships.
I don't have snacks in my house.
You don't have no food? She made a food desert in the house. Clara claims she's naturally skinny and doesn't have an ED, but cosplays ED as well as teaches her audience how to get skinny.
I'm a naturally skinny person.
If you're naturally some way, then why do you have habits to make you that way? She's cosplaying ED. And unfortunately, it gets far worse when she ventures outside of making skinny propaganda as her personality. We investigating the case of Clara Dao on today's Foreign Friday.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
Clara Dao is a 26-year-old Vietnamese Canadian self-proclaimed body positivity activist. And I say self-proclaimed because, much like Jasmine Tan, she promotes particular values to an impressionable young female audience that on the surface seems wholesome, but upon closer examination is sinister. So, trigger warning for ED. I am very open about my ED. I am currently on like a 20-hour fast, and I do that pretty much every day. I struggle with body dysmorphia, and I often feel awkward even lamenting about it. Not because of my masculinity, but because I'm not on any extreme. I'm not super fat, nor am I super skinny. So oftentimes I feel like my discussion of my bodily insecurities would eclipse the visibility of folks that aren't represented enough in the discourse. Which brings me to the good of Clara Dao. Shut up. Count your calories. I never look good in mom jeans. Wish I was like you, blue-eyed blondie, perfect body. Maybe I should try harder. You should lower your expectations. I'm no quick girl Barbie. I was never cut out for prom queen. If I get more pretty, do you think he would like me? It's a bit heavy-handed, but there's a demographic of people that this resonates with that doesn't see themselves represented in media enough. Clara seems to be very vulnerable about her body. She even talks about her own insecurities pertaining to her jaw.
I have always been self-conscious about my chin and how it looks, my jaw and my bite. Sometimes I feel like I'm so unlucky because it seems like everyone around me have a normal jawline and like they don't have any issues with their bite and their teeth looks nice.
To me, she looks great, but I am pro cosmetic surgery. And this is really brave. But here's where it gets confusing. She then also discourages her fans and her audience from getting work done and claims that it's just their body dysmorphia. She actually says that they're fine the way that they are.
But there's nothing wrong with you, physically. You've got the kind of looks that make other girls mentally ill. So stop it. You don't need any plastic surgery. You're perfect.
So after she got the work done, she then told her young, impressionable female audience that they shouldn't get work done. So I say, big body foreign, the world is full of contradictions and duality. She could have changed her mind or something. Copyright, 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 copyright. You're beginning to see it, right? On first blush, this could seem like a dose of self-affirming TikToks like, Jasmine Tan for people that look like Clara. They trying to big up the fact that I'm skinny, flat-chested. The way that they're doing that, if you realize, is she's lifting up her body type by denigrating other body types. Same thing I was saying with Z. I can sleep on my stomach and I has a big body. I have back pain, but it's not because I'm fat, it's because I ego lift. And why I gotta feel bad that I can't fit in the small spaces? It ain't my fault that my ass roll up on my back like Gary the Snail. Notice also, like the call to action, your body is perfect the way it is. And I want you all to remember that because it will come in handy when understanding her hypocrisy. But first, let's take a little detour. Trigger warning, her weird takes on domestic violence. It was immediately apparent that Clara was a pretty one-note creator. So she turned a demographic, which is being flat-chested and thin, into a genre. I was browsing Clara's TikTok to find anything that was different, and weirdly, I found this. Pinky promise, I'll still love your garden, even with no flowers, even with no flowers. She's saying that she supports men's rights as well as wrongs in a sea of skinny propaganda. She says she supports man's problems in one breath and then makes light about domestic abuse against men in another. Oh God. Apart from it being disgusting, it's just weird, right? You make skinny propaganda. Why are we now talking about getting beat up? Especially right after you talked about supporting men's rights and wrongs. What it told me above everything else is that Clara isn't consistent. She's hypocritical. She will discourage her viewers from cosmetic surgery. She will claim she is pro men's rights, whatever that means, and then make light of violence against said men. What else is there going to be inconsistencies on? Bringing us back to the ED. Head in the clouds, but my gravity centered. Touch my neck, and I touch yours. You in those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, knows what I think about. And what I think about. One love, two mouths, one love, one house, no shirt, no blouse, just us, you find out. Nothing that I wouldn't want to tell you about, no. 'Cause it's too cold for you here. And now, so let me go. And it's important to note that Clara claims that she does not have ED. Trigger warning, ED. I don't have eating disorder and I'm not dieting. This was simply just a POV or my understanding of what following a strict diet is like. I just want to shed light on this topic that I feel like a lot of people may relate to. Research has shown that diets really work and people who go on diets will eventually snap back to how they were before going on that diet. So yeah, she's cosplaying ED. I didn't even realize I had an ED until folks brought it to my attention when I was on stream and I got my fasting notification and it went off and they were just like, "Foreign, how long have you been fasting?" And I was just like, "Oh, for 24 hours. And they're just like, "What?" Then I did my own research and I was just like, "Oh yeah, you know, you were being taught to drink Slim Fast as a 5-year-old. I used to binge eat, especially at night. A lot of that is linked to emotional regulation. I was able to look back in my history and I said, okay, when did I realize that I really started to binge eat? And it was right around the time when my parents got a divorce. That was really helpful for me because I realized I'm not binge eating because I'm hungry. I'm binge eating because I'm feeling a lot of different emotions pertaining to my parents' divorce. And I can't control those emotions. I'm going to do what I can control, which is eating. It is very much possible that Clara could have very well not knew potentially that she has one. If she has one, do you think that is more so a situation where she is naturally skinny, as she said, or something else afoot? Everybody loves the things you do, from the way you talk to the way you move. Everybody here is watching you. You feel like home, like a dream come true. But if by chance you're all alone, can I have a moment? It's one thing to cosplay ED once, if you brandish yourself an actress or something like that, but multiple videos detailing what this disorder may look like and leaving it up when people already tell you that this may not be an accurate representation, stick a pin in this because it could come up later. While we on Clara and the man them, it's probably a good time to bring up her boyfriend, Javi. Kissing, I hope they caught us, whether they like it or not. Not. I want to show you off. Yeah. I want to show you off. Not. I want to brag about it. Yeah. I want to tie the knot. Not. I want to show you off. I want to show you. Okay, yeah, you all get the point. They make a beautiful couple and they make content as a couple. I ain't got no problems with couple channels. They're quite common, but it's not lost on me that they get together and within months make a channel dedicated to couple content. And their content comes off rather juvenile given that Clara is in her late 20s, but the reason we find them juvenile is because they obviously weren't made with us in mind. Copyright, 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 copyright. It really drives the point home that Clara and Javi are targeting a young audience, which can be very profitable, but it comes with a responsibility. Where it gets weird is when Clara includes Javi in her body positivity discourse. Now, chat, you tell me if this actually happened or r/that happened, because I call Bumba Clara on this, to be honest. Clara say, the other day I was talking to my BF and he said, and I quote, "I find it surprising that you never asked me what I think of your flat chest." And I laughed and I said, quote, "Because I don't see having a flat chest as a flaw that I need validation for from you. Like, for real, I'm so confident that I'm a bad B and my body is so sexy and people's opinions, even my BFs, don't matter because the only opinion that matters is my own. I love myself so much, I'm feeling more confident and happier than ever. And I think to live your dream life, you have to start with accepting everything about yourself and not giving a F about what anyone has to say. Keep going, queens. You're so beautiful and sexy in your own way. Love you." Literally in the comment section, people are already calling out. Don't attack your own lover online. Keep these conversations private. Girl, confidence is not loud. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is dead. To me, this feels like a manufactured hypothetical made for the sole opportunity of making affirmations for flat-chested folks. Especially when you consider how the language here, flat chests aren't flaws. It's the same language used in her TikToks and her IG Reels. To be clear, a healthy self-image is crucial to positive self-esteem, and there's nothing wrong with affirming oneself and others. But making it a part of your brand that you leverage to sell products is a bit disingenuous, especially when it's a hypothetical like this that sounds like it comes straight out of a young adult fiction novel.
Okay, you got me there. But that is not a crime.
Chat, I'm working with this theory in real time, so bear with me, but the hyperfixation on flatness and the way she describes herself disparagingly in her own TikToks, it reads to me like a flat fetish. I'm sorry. It reminds me of Nico Avocado, but in reverse. I do believe that our primary target audience is a young female audience, but when researching this, a lot of the posts come across as uncomfortably centering on essentializing her body, comparing it to a little boy's body and a young girl's body, which just rings Lolita alarms to me. Charitably speaking, infantilizing oneself is something we see across many media depictions of women in the West, but especially in East Asia. I don't need to bring up the mangas and the lolly, all the other stuff. I ain't trying to talk about that. But there's a reality where she does this unconsciously, and if so, that's just as dangerous, not only for herself, but anybody aspiring to be like her, which would be many of her female followers who are in the comments specifically asking how you got so skinny. A request that she fulfills with glee. The title of this video is The Surprising Habits That Keep Me Skinny. Keep in mind, she said that she naturally skinny, and these are habits that she does to keep being skinny. If you're naturally some way, then why do you have habits to make you that way?
I'm a naturally skinny person. I have never gained weight since my adult life. I've never have to worry about my weight. I've never have to worry about what I eat. I feel healthy. If skinny privilege is a thing, I can be called a skinny legend. I make this video because I've been seeing a lot of videos on my YouTube feed about habits that naturally skinny people have. And as a naturally skinny person, I want to add to the conversation. The first habit is I don't eat when I'm not hungry. I often don't remember to eat unless I really feel it in my stomach. I'm like, oh my god, I'm hungry. And then I realized that, oh, it's like 7 p.m. and I haven't eaten anything all day. Back in our hunter-gatherer day, which is like hundreds of thousands.
You're very aware that you have an impressionable audience of young girls watching you and aspiring to be you.
Years ago, we didn't have food lying around. We didn't have an abundance of food. We had to actually work really hard to find the food. Trust me, I have read a lot about this. I have learned.
Fast like a girl is wild. From you say evolutionary psychology, you're talking about hunter-gatherer days. It's a good indication you may very well subscribe to like a lot of different harmful ideas. Bigotry of one is bigotry of all. ED is a representation of an anti-fatness. You have this disorder stemming from learning that there's someone that you do not want to be. And that is a fat person in this case. So she has developed disorders to prevent her from becoming that person. It goes right back to like even racism. Negrophobia is a disorder. Racism will make you literally insane. The justifications and the way that like you rationale hating a person based on skin color. Transphobia too. That's the reason why like when you hear transphobes talk, their outlook and their perspective has no bearing in reality why you like this. The same when it comes to stuff like this. It's a disorder driven from a bigotry. From you could do one, you could do all. It's just like when they have the adage about like if you could lie, you could cheat, and if you could cheat, you could steal, and if you could steal, you could kill.
I can speak about this with confidence that like this is healthy, and I'm not advocating for starving yourself. I'm not advocating for restrictive eating. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about eliminate completely snacking in between meals, always eating something throughout the day.
That sounds like a restriction, baby.
So I usually skip breakfast because I don't usually feel hungry in the morning, and instead I take this thing called Magic Mind at the start of my day.
Don't kill me. Is this a sponsored post? My God. Oh God. Come on, man. This can't be legal for real, socialist. Can I call you that? I need your consent. Imagine monetizing your shame for real, Tiffany Blood. Shorty wild for that too. She went this whole spiel about not eating in the morning and intuitively eating. There's some mana potions for real, bro. There's some Breath of the Wild.
I take Magic Mind for 7 days straight to see whether it could make a difference in my daily life, and let's talk about the results.
But y'all gotta go to hell on a gas truck, dog. Oh God. Bro, dog, ain't no way y'all reaching the pearly gates. I know like when y'all is pray, God does decline y'all calls, bro. Ain't no way you could prosper doing things like this, big dog. Ain't no way y'all could prosper doing things like this to people, bro. You know there's children watching y'all. Y'all have to go to hell, bro. Like y'all have to. It just ain't no way not to, dog. Sure, you did a shot of grass and said that's breakfast. So you never finish your plate? Who's making your plate? Like even like when you make your plate, you're not finishing your plate?
I rather waste all that food rather than like stuffing myself because I respect my body.
You eat a lot, you don't respect your body, bro.
Even a chocolate bar, like I never finish a chocolate bar.
When she said the buzzword food abundance mindset, I already know what she been reading. I already know that she been listening to Dr. Atia's podcast.
I love my body so much. I cherish and value my body so much, you know, and I want to give it the best thing possible in life.
She frames it in the only way to love your body is to deprive it. Very in line with like that Catholic asceticism, the ascetic monk, you need to suffer in order to get reward. It's amazing just how much of these worlds overlap. Let's say that like you maybe was watching her TikTok, you like the fact that like she looks like you. And then you're just like, oh, okay, well, let me watch some more of her stuff. Then you go to her YouTube channel, then you stumble upon stuff like this. Before you know it, you Nara Smith.
Don't go on a diet, but make healthy habits your lifestyle instead. You have to be able to rewire your brain into loving the healthy habit and to keeping it as your lifestyle. It's just what you do, your identity.
So just do a long diet. This is the 7th habit, mind you. This is natural.
Next habit, mindset is huge. My mindset or / belief about myself is always I'm a naturally skinny person. And so I guess that because I keep telling myself that, and also the external feedback from everyone is like, oh my God, you're so skinny, like eat more. You're so lucky, you can eat anything. Like that message, and also of course what I tell myself become my self-concept.
She just said that she manifests skinny? Oh God. Bro, skinny is a personality. How are you naturally skinny but also need to manifest being skinny?
If losing weight is your goal right now, start telling yourself the belief that you want to have. Keep repeating that belief until it becomes your self-concept. My next habit is don't make food become the focus.
Shorty, you thinking about not having food. This gal's whole content is being thin. And she gonna have the nerve, the absolute gall to tell niggas to hey, you too food centric.
Just try to fill your days with activity that you love, that gives you satisfaction and pleasure that you would normally get from food. Get the same satisfaction from like having a hobby or like working on.
She said, Shorty say distract yourself from the hunger.
Bubble tea is like alcohol, like it's like I'm like bubble-holic or something. So it's kind of like my plan now to just say no to bubble tea, like altogether. Into that craving, you're not respecting yourself. You're not.
She literally said that she doesn't believe in restrictions, and here she is literally telling her that she can't even have a boba, bro. Not even one of the little balls them. We had 12 habits, and Shorty say that she naturally skinny.
One micro habit that I do is like I'm very expressive with my hands. Like I use my hand a lot when I talk.
Shorty say, talk with your hands and you'll be thin.
I don't have snacks in my house. It goes with my first habit.
Shorty don't have no food, blood. Shorty says she don't have no snacks in the house. She made a food desert in the house.
Honey.
Bumbaras Claude.
My fridge is usually empty, but I'm trying to change that. I've always wanted to make this video because I always see comments that say, oh, you have my dream body. I want to be skinny like you. Some people even use me as a thinspo. I don't think it's healthy though. Don't do that. But if you ever wonder what habits naturally skinny people do, then this is it.
Why does she keep saying naturally skinny and then she lists like a bunch of friggin' things as ways to be skinny?